Oh, you caught me. That's good brew. What's going on? My name's Flux, and I'm here to talk to you about Maschine and different stuff that's going on with it. We're going to talk about modulation sources. What's up? We're going to talk about sampling. We're going to talk about finger drumming. We're going to talk about love, hate, and everything in between. Probably not. So let's get to it. What I've got right now, just a regular drum kit loaded up from Conic Gardens. I know I pronounced it wrong. Whatever. I'm not from the D. I don't try to be. So right now I've erased the sounds off of it that I don't want from the kit. Not press and play. You know who I'm talking to. So what I'm going to do real quick is let's go ahead and sample something real quick. Something real short. And make sure tractor's on. I've got tractor on my other MacBook over here. Move my chips. Yes, I could have gotten ready for the video beforehand, but what's the fun in that? I'm ridiculous. Turn everything on. You know what? I'll just grab this record right here. It's one of my favorite records. Some of you out there will know what it is instantly. I'm sure you'll know what it is instantly, right? Because you're fiends. But I'm just going to put a little piece in here. So what we'll do is turn on sampling, set my inputs. Okay. Make sure I'm getting the sound. Always helps. So I'm just going to take this little piece here. Nothing too fancy. Don't want to get too fancy on you. Then you all think I'm uppity, right? We don't want that. We don't want So that's all I needed, right? Just a little bit of that funk. I'm duplicating the pad a couple of times so that I can kind of play with it. And I'm going to do all kinds of stupid stuff to this sample in efforts of making it more unique and more mine and more not yours and more mine and more not yours. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of it for this part, which is going to be... Okay. And the second part, I think I'll take... Let's take just this other piece. never put your beer on your mixer. It's a bad idea. So what I'm going to do now is I'm using ADSR, and I'm going to put some release on here. Now I'm going to dig into modulating this thing. Why? Because I'm ridiculous, okay? First, let's just lay down some skeleton drums real quick, just to kind of get an idea on what I'm going to do when I play this thing out. So, I'm just going to record a short pattern, 2 bars. Okay, so I've got this little short pattern. It's just going to let me know whether or not I feel the funk, right? So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, let's go to filter. We'll turn the filter on. Let's try bandpass. Let's just try something goofy. Setting the bandpass a little bit low. Now I'm going to go into, let's go to, I'm just doing this off the top of my head, so we'll see what I like. Yeah, we'll use the LFO, we'll sync it, okay, and we'll make it kind of quick, alright, it's going to be on quarter notes, alright. I'm going to change it from a sine to a triangle, and let's set it to the cutoff. Alright, and then shift plus pad mode equals keyboard. So right, so you can do that, and of course the different LFO shapes are gonna change how that cutoff sounds. So like if I was to go to a rectangle, it'd be more like a gate, so you get this. If you go to a sine, you get this kind of wavy wah-wah type sound. And of course, if you do a triangle, it's more. It's almost like the wah-wah, but more sharp. You know. The phase is just going to change basically where your LFO's kind of starting at. If you move the phase, let's say your beat starts right here, and the LFO starts right there. Right, the phase is going to move where this sine is at over. So now, instead of starting here, you're going to start here, you know, which can offset, and you can do it in time to get different effects from it. So if I bring the phase up, let's say 25%, come all the way up, what's going to happen is when I start the sequencer, it's going to be offset to it. We'll go up to 50 and you can hear it. Okay, so you can do that, and that's cool. That's kind of, we're just kind of scratching the surface on that one, right? That's that pumpkin spice, and I dig that. So what we'll do now is we're going to do velocity destination, and what that does is the velocity destination, how hard you hit the pad, is going to change how much you're freaking something out. You know what I mean? So if I was to put the cutoff on there, all right, let's say I put the cutoff all the way up, right? Depending on how hard I hit the pad is going to decide where that cutoff is at. And you can do interesting things with that. Like your volume is already set to 100% because, you know, if you want a finger drum soft, you want it to be quieter. If you want a finger drum hard, you want it to be the opposite. Well, let's turn that all the way off. Right? So the volume is set to 0%. And what that does is that sets your pad. Your pad's just going to play full on. at your set volume. But now instead of changing the volume with my finger drumming, I'm changing the cutoff. So you can do interesting things with that, and you can of course go negative, which so you can do interesting things with that. But instead of affecting the cutoff, what I think I'll do is I'll do some ridiculous stuff. Let's do the start point. So you get a little bit of variation because I'm using a more pad sounding sample. It's not going to be really abrupt. You're just going to get a little variation in how it sounds when I play it. So you can add like interesting little variation by doing that. So I'll put volume back at 100% so that I can kind of. So I'm going to lay that down. And you're thinking, but Flux, you're not done yet. And I'd say, duh. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the LFO depth to 100%. Okay? And I have a mod wheel. So, what am I going to do? Am I just going to look at it? Pretty blue lights for no reason? Nope. I'm going to use it. So check it out. Can you hear that? So what it's doing is it's bringing in the amount of that whoosh, whoosh sound from the LFO, right? Letting it sweep that frequency. So now I'm just going to hit record again. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate the pattern. Why am I duplicating the pattern? Because I want variation in my patterns, right? I know you want variations in your patterns. I can tell. Dirty. So let's go ahead and record that. So now we've got that little variation in there. And in fact, I'm going to double the pattern. On this other sample, I'm going to do something different with it. Why? Because I'm doing a video. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the... let's decide what we want to do here. LFO destination to pitch, and it's just going to probably dip down about 12%. Okay. And we'll set the phase fast. Actually, let's sync that again. We'll put that on like 16th notes or something. Oh, I'm on the wrong sample. Let's go back to 16th notes. Now you can set it really high, and you can get these like crazy tremolo effects. so you can act ridiculous with it. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and set it right around probably 25%, somewhere in that range. Maybe a little bit less. Yeah, so 22% and 1/16. And on this one, I think I might do the same with the pan, actually. Let's set the pan just a little bit on there. So now I got this stereo pan and thing, so all the little kids on LSD are freaking out, okay? And that's fine with me, because, you know, you should have known better. Listen to a Flux track, you're on LSD, what are you thinking, man? Okay, so I'm going to go back into keyboard mode, and this time what I'm going to do is, and I didn't explain this last time, I should have, but I didn't, okay? I'm going to drop the octave down, so shift pad mode puts me in keyboard mode, and I'm pulling up the screen so I can see it. I can see all my notes on my right hand screen, and I'm just going to press the, the 7th button on the top row, which is going to give you dropped an octave. So I can play it out a little bit, and we'll see where we like it at. I don't know if I'm going to have it on the same thing or not. Let me try something. So, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and affect a little bit more on this one. I want to give it some cutoff. Let's put on a low pass. A little bit of resonance. Okay, and let's see here. For the mod wheel, we'll do the mod wheel as cutoff. So. We'll drop the cutoff down a little bit more. Now you're saying, Flux, why you got no swing? And I say, because I'm a loser like that. But the real answer is because I'm doing it with a grid on, so what do I want to do? I want to throw some swing on this bad boy. Alright? So I'm going to go to my group level of my drums, go to the groove section, okay? I'm going to put my swing to about 34%. And we'll give it a pretty decent swing on there. So I'm just going to lay that simple thing down there, you know. I'm just kind of going off the top of the head right here. Why not? Nobody else cares. Why should I? Now you're thinking to yourself, Flux, you're just being ridiculous. You got goofy little samples going on. You got things going wah, 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 all over the place. You know what? That's okay, because I'm not trying to bite other people's sound. I'm trying to do something new. Okay? Something that sounds more like me, less like you. But you affect things the way you want. You know what I mean? So now I'm going to do some ridiculous stuff that makes no sense. Okay? Like, what about sending the drums? Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you super simple secret way of getting glitches in your drums without going through all the hassle of loading up other VSTs and all that hoobala. So let's go ahead and do this. So on my group level, right, of the drums, right, I'm going to go ahead and select modules. All right, you got the compression that's on there. That's fine. Whatever. No big deal. Second one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this little guy. His name, where's he at? Is called Grain Stretch. Grain Stretch is a bad dude. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stretch time all the way to 100%. I'm going to take my loop down. You can actually play with that a little bit to do different glitches. Alright? And I'm going to turn the link on, and the size is going to stay at 25%. Mix output, you can vary that to get different sounds. But check what I do, right? So and you're thinking, that's cool and all, but you're not that cool, Flux. And I'd be like, that might be true, but you don't got to be hurtful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate it. Check it out, right? I'm going to go ahead and just, this pattern is what, 2 bars? Let's make it 4 so that I can add some variation in here. And I'm going to show you some different automation tricks on that grain stretch that makes it sound cooler than your friends. So now I've got the stretch and the pitch both automating as well. And that's going to go ahead and it's going to chop up the sound into these fine little increments and detune them at the same time. And that's in the middle of, that's kind of in between the main hits. That's more like on the hi-hat pieces and whatnot. Just so that you're not fully messing up your MC. And then comes the fun parts. The parts that we all like to do. Right? So we'll do this now. You know, when you change the size, you get bigger and bigger chunks or smaller and smaller chunks. So check this out, right? That same glitch with a larger size, we'll go to like 50. So when you go real high, you get these like, they sound like wavetable synths. And when you do that, that's when you go ahead, I'm going to duplicate this over, and when you have your size at 100% and you play with your pitch, it acts just like a wavetable synth. So check this out, right? Now see, if I go ahead and I leave the stretch on like a strong piece, like a strong glitch, you'll hear it really loud. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to clear off the automation on this one. All right, Shift, Pad 10, clears automation, and check it out. So So you can play with that, you know, and get to different sizes. But I'm going to go back to about 25, okay? And I'll take my pitch, and I'll just kind of play with that just a little bit. Okay, so you're thinking, all right, Flux, there's more you can do. There's more you can do with this modulation matrix. And you're right, I can. So what I'm going to do now is listen for the people running above my head. I hear them. Do you? So I'm going to go ahead and let's modulate something else just a little bit. What sample? Okay. So we'll go ahead and play with... If you play with the start amount, you can do some interesting things too. Let's go ahead and go to modulation envelope, and we'll do a little bit on the drive, around 50%, and we'll give it some drive, about 25%. So I got all these little freaky things going on there, and that's kind of how the modulation matrix works on here. You can just assign different things to affect other things. Hopefully we can get this thing in the future to use those same sources to modulate our VST parameters. That would be awesome. Native Instruments, please do it. If you don't, I'll come after you. But other than that, I think we're good. I think we're good for now. I'll do another video about something else later on. Let me know what you want. If you don't let me know, I'll probably do a video just messing around and acting like a fool. I got an M Audio Venom for sale. You want it? Buy it. Peace.